you are still alive. That means God is still holding you. And that alone is reason enough to begin this day with praise. If you are still breathing, you still have a reason to praise. Psalm 150 verse 6 declares, "Let everything that has breath praise the Lord." This is not merely a suggestion, it is a spiritual truth. Even if you have walked through loss, pain, or seasons of darkness with no way out, you are still here. And your very presence today is living proof that His grace has continued to sustain you, not because everything is already okay, but because God has never left your side. Every breath is an opportunity to worship, and praise must begin right here, right now. I have walked through seasons that felt like there was no way out. There were moments when my heart collapsed under the weight of pain, of lack, of questions with no answers. There were days when I didn't know what to believe anymore, when everything that once felt certain began to shake. But the strange and wondrous thing is this: it was in the moments when I was most fragile that He revealed Himself most clearly, not through loud miracles, but through a presence so real it silenced every doubt. I did not see the answer, but I knew, without a doubt. He was here, not someone else. Him. And in that one moment alone, I understood. God does not wait for me to be strong before He shows up. He was already there, beforehand, in the storm, in the wilderness, in the places where no one else could walk with me. I praise the Lord, not because everything in my life has been easy, but because when I look back, I know with certainty it was He who sustained me through every difficult season. Some doors opened at moments when I had stopped expecting, not because I had the strength, but because His hand was already moving before I ever thought to ask. There were dangers I never saw, situations that seemed harmless, but could have undone me. Yet God protected me from what my eyes had not yet perceived. He guarded me silently, without needing my awareness, without waiting for my gratitude. He acted because He loves, and I know this for sure. If it were not for that mercy, I would not be standing here today. I praise the Lord because there were moments when I was overlooked, doubted, and left behind. When every voice around me grew heavy or fell silent, it was His voice that rang out clearer than ever. He did not rebuke. He did not condemn. He simply reminded me, I have never been forgotten. His promises were not given to decorate my emotions, but to become the ground on which I stand when every other foundation crumbles. I became strong, not because I learned to stand on my own, but because I learned to lean entirely on Him. Every time I fell, His grace lifted me. Every time I was exhausted, He renewed my strength. And this alone is reason enough for my heart to never cease praising. That, through it all, the Lord never abandoned me, and He is still walking with me, day by day. I praise the Lord, not only for what He has done, but because He is worthy of worship. There are days when I see no results, when no miracles happen, when nothing seems to change. Yet God remains unchanged. He is still faithful, still kind, still my place of refuge. I do not need to wait for a new miracle to bless His name. Just knowing that He is still God, still reigning, still loving me with a love that never withdraws, is enough for my heart to rise in praise. I do not worship because everything is resolved. I worship because He never leaves. And that is what makes praise genuine. A worship not dependent on emotion, not built on outcomes, but rooted in the One who never shifts through every season of life. Lord, I lift my praise to You. not because I always understand what you are doing, but because I am certain of this. Not a single day have you ever left me. There were moments when I walked through critical decisions with a heart full of confusion, yet you silently redirected me from wrong paths. There were times I thought I was doing fine, but in truth, I was being upheld by a mercy that never showed itself. There were dangers I never even saw, but you saw them all. Some doors closed and left me disappointed, but now I understand. That was your protection. You did not merely guard me from harm. You preserved me from my own unwise choices. When others walked away, when I had no more words to defend myself, no one to stand by my side, you remained, unchanged and unwavering. You did not shame me in my weakness. You covered me with unwavering faithfulness. In the nights I was afraid, it was your word that kept my heart from collapsing. In battles I had no strength to fight. You fought for me, not with noise, but with a steadfast covering so strong that the enemy could not break through. It was your hand that blocked arrows I could not see. It was your love that silenced the voices that meant to break my spirit. Lord, I know with certainty that every victory in my life has not come from my skill, ability, or strength, but from your grace alone. I once thought I needed to do more to hold on to my faith, to try harder to find peace. But I was wrong. The joy I now have is not the result of favorable circumstances. It is a gift from the one who never changes. The peace I now carry is not because everything around me is calm, but because within me, you reign. There were times the enemy tried to break my faith through silent accusations, through mental turmoil, through prolonged disappointments. But in every one of those attacks, your word rose on my behalf. No arrow could pierce the covering of your truth. No word could crush a soul anchored in your promises, even when I thought I was falling apart. It was you holding me together. And now, I can say clearly, without hesitation, the stability I have, it comes from you. The victory I experience, it is the work of your hand. And it is your name, and nothing else. That is my triumph. Lord, if there is anything within me that is silently taking the place of you, please reveal it and remove it. I do not want to live a life of worship with my lips, while secretly holding on to things that compete with your presence in my heart. It may be plans I have drawn up on my own, desires that have not yet been sanctified, or simply a will that is not fully surrendered. But today, in the light of truth, I can no longer hold anything back from myself. I do not want to dull the love I have for you. I do not want what is temporary to be exchanged for what is eternally called. If habits are making me spiritually cold, if longings are pulling me away from true purpose, please break them. I do not want to merely be near you. I want to belong wholly to you. Lord, I do not see the full path ahead, but I know the one who is leading me. There are days when the way feels unclear, when plans are delayed, when doors remain silent without explanation. I used to be afraid of choosing what I did not understand, of walking in directions unknown, but you do not ask me to understand. You simply call me to trust, and it is precisely when I have nothing left to cling to that I realize you are the only sure foundation. You do not lay out the route in advance, but you hold my hand. You do not promise explanations, but you promise to walk with me. You do not remove all the uncertainty, but you give a peace large enough to carry me forward, one step at a time. I do not need a map when I have the guide. I do not need to see the future when I know you are already in my present. And because of that, today, even though I cannot yet see the whole picture, even though I do not understand why some things remain unfinished, I will still walk forward, not because I am bold, but because you are faithful. I choose to step, not because I know the outcome, but because I know you, and that is enough. There are moments when I stand on sunlit mountaintops, my heart overflowing with blessing. And there are also times when I quietly walk through the valley, carrying nothing but breath and an unspoken prayer. Yet wherever I am, whether in the light or the darkness, you remain unchanged. Praise is my calling. It belongs to the one who created me, redeemed me, and walks with me. When joy is absent, when answers have not come, when nothing compels me forward, that is when worship becomes its purest, untouched by emotion, unanchored to results, rooted solely in the unchanging nature of who you are. So today, in the midst of all that remains unfinished, I wait no longer. I praise you, not because I understand everything, but because I know you are always faithful. I praise you, not because you follow my will, but because your will is always good. Even when I cannot see, cannot feel, cannot be certain, cannot stand firm still, my soul will praise. This is not a mere action, it is a vow, a sacred vow between me and the one who will never leave. Lord, I do not want to worship you with my lips alone. For if the words I proclaim are not reflected in the life I live, they are nothing more than empty echoes. Teach me to worship through my daily actions, not to prove anything, but to glorify you amid real life. Let my words reflect your love. When others face harshness, may my words bring encouragement. When the world lives in criticism, let me live in forgiveness. When people chase what is easy, may my steps remain on the narrow way, where your light leads. Make my heart a temple, not built of stone, but of your presence. A place with no idols, no selfish schemes, only you exalted above all. Let every choice I make, no matter how small, bear the imprint of true worship. No need for form, no need to be seen, only the desire to please you. For if my entire life came down to one thing, then let it be this, that my life declares I belong to you, and everything I do is to honor the one who is worthy of eternal worship. Lord, I cannot fully understand why you chose me, but I am certain you did. You did not have to love me, yet you loved me still. You did not have to save me, yet you bent down and redeemed me. That love required no reason and came with no conditions. You loved before I ever knew how to love you in return. You called me by your name, even when I had never been worthy. I have stumbled many times. I have doubted. I have turned away. But you have never changed. When I fell, you did not abandon me. You reached out and lifted me. When my heart grew cold, your love remained as fervent as it was in the beginning. When I was weary, your heart waited patiently. Not once did you scold. Not once did you turn your face away. Every morning, your grace is new again. In every season, your mercy remains. It is that unchanging love that has held me, not because I am steadfast, but because you are faithful. Not because I understand everything, but because you never grow weary in teaching me. That is the foundation of all I believe, all I hope for. And it is the only reason I chose to follow you to the very end. Lord, I praise you, not merely for what you have done, but because you alone are worthy of all glory. If I had nothing left in my hands, yet still had you, that would be enough for me to live. Enough for me to worship. For you are everything. The one who never changes in a world of constant change. The one who never leaves, even when I fail and fall short. When I have nothing left to offer, I still have a heart of gratitude. When I have no words left to speak, my soul still cries out. When I no longer see the way forward, my faith still chooses to remain in you. For you are holy, and your worthiness does not depend on the circumstances I face, whether on the heights or in the depths, whether in light or shadow, you are still God. I will worship not only today, but every day to come, in seasons of abundance and in times of trial, when I am understood by others, and even when I am forgotten. For true faith does not seek the reward, but seeks the giver. It does not look to the miracle, but to the one who performs it. It does not worship out of emotion, but because of truth. You have loved me without hesitation. So I long to live a life that never ceases to give you praise. And if there is one thing I will do until the very end, it is this: to exalt your holy name, today, tomorrow, and forevermore.